So I'm watching Fire Force episode 22, right? Hero Resurrected, and it says Arthur has exercised the Great Despair, okay, aka Dragon. Just as everyone wonders if the Great Cataclysm has stopped, the moon begins falling towards the Earth. At the same time, Kuruno and Joker face off against their doppelgangers, and then the strongest demon also appears. Okay, so that's a synopsis of episode 22. But the reason why I want to point out this one fact is, at the beginning of the episode, I believe his name is Kuruno, is fighting his doppelganger, and he basically says, "This is the way that you see me." And I feel like that's a huge lesson that's like for the youth or any age to understand, like, just because somebody sees you one way doesn't mean that defines you. Somebody else's perception of you does not define you. And for him, he asked his doppelganger, the original, he said, basically, you can only change if I want to change. And he says, to the doppelganger, "Do you like me?" And the doppelganger said, "Of course I don't like you. I just want the benefits of being you." So then he basically said, "Okay, well, I want you to return back to the other side." So basically, he's saying, like, let's just relate this to social media. Okay, just because you post a certain type of things or you post whatever you post, okay, and people perceive you to be a certain type of way because of the post that you make, doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it you. You get what I'm saying? So all you have to do is return those thoughts or those perceptions to the other side, whatever that may be for you. It's just a naysayer, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't define who you are. And I think that's such a, like, when we talk about anime, how we say that anime is healing, like, it's so many lessons that it teaches us, like, about real life. You get what I'm saying? I can really appreciate that, like, coming from this anime, like, telling from this story, but also giving you a real life lesson. Okay, if you don't know by now, we are in this series, Fire Force, and it seems that there's going to be one more episode released in a week, episode 25. I thought it was going to be 24 episodes, but until episode 25 comes out, we will be finishing this series, and then we're going to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece Wano arc, yeah. And then I have another announcement, but I wanted to finish these animes before I announce this announcement, okay? And I didn't want to do it on April Fool's because I didn't want it to be not taken seriously. What's this fantastic gang? A little bit of this, a little bit of this. Okay, welcome back to another ShanimeReviews where we're finishing off these anime series so we can go ahead and get into some new gameplay. Okay, I'll see you soon after I finish episode 22. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss some, unpopular opinions. And then we're going to move on to episode 23 and then 24. I'll be right back. First of all, I'm gagging. I'm gagging. Oh, shit! Okay, I cannot lie. I'm glad that, kind of like My Hero Academia, like how they made, what was his name? Midoriya keep like his powers to be in his feet, and although All Might powers was in his arms. So I really like how they focused and kept Shinra's powers like within his feet. I think that's so cool and like such a amazing attention to detail. Okay, before we go ahead and get into episode 23 titled Despair Saintness, can we just talk about some key values? Burns had literally like brought himself back from the Adola and merged with his doppelganger, the most strongest version of himself, and ended up killing what was his name? Daruno's like doppelganger, which was Peak. But the most intriguing thing about episode 22 was, are they trying to tell us that Iris that we know is a doppelganger, like the original Iris is Amaterasu inside the Adola, like that's the original Iris that's been suffering for over 250 years? Y'all gotta let me know in the comments below. Who is the real Iris? And also Hamiya has finally like taken off her crown. I'm very interested to see who Hamiya like really is. If you know me, Hamiya is my favorite character. She was originally a saint and now she's like this big evil boss. So I guess the final fight is gonna be Shinra versus Hamiya and the other two girls who were listed on there. And it's another girl with the pink hair. I never really realized her name, but I did like the way that she could draw to the thing and make an explosion. I thought that was so cool. So on to episode 23. Shinra and Sho confront Hamiya in Adola. Hamiya believes that humanity's collective unconscious harbors a wish for death. She kills Inca right in front of Shinra and Sho. The brothers reject Hamiya's words and launch an attack, but for some reason their blows don't reach her. Episode 23, Despair and Saintness. Well, they just kind of, the caption just ruined the surprise that they're going to die. But the girl name is Inca, I believe, the one that can draw and press and hit the explosion, which I thought was really cool. And I love her character design. And Shinra lifting up the moon, wasn't that epic or no? I thought it was pretty cool. Now, some of you might be mad at me because I'm about to renege. I'm about to go back on what I said in the previous video about this being a weak plot. Well, I don't think I said it was a weak plot, but it's really good. Like, tying everything in, saying like the despair and everything is what made like Hamiya like a god, and like all of the things, like she's a collective, like, how did I explain it? Like, she's a collective conscience of like all humans want like to solve their issues, and at the end of the day, all humans want to do is die. And like that's the end of evolution. Like, humans want to always find the answer to everything and the true peace and all that kind of stuff. And what most humans think altogether is they'll have peace when they're died, or they have peace when they're dead, which is like, and when you think about it in the real world, like people always think sometimes, well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but this is not the first time that I heard that humans think that peace will initially come from when they're dead. Because, a lot of people feel like we go to work, we got to take care of our kids, we got to take care of our jobs, we got to take care of this, we got to take care of that, we got to take care of this, we got to take care of that. And then we're constantly spinning on the cycle, constantly on the wheel, and they feel like we'll never rest or we'll never sleep or have eternal peace until we're dead. Such an interesting way to tell a story. Wow. And then the examples they gave about like peace, all type of things, and then they was talking about like gods didn't bring birth to humans. Humans bring birth to gods by acts of, basically whatever you indulge yourself in can be seen as a god. Like as families, as art, as science, like all these things that humans indulge themselves in can become their god. Like, this is mind blowing. Okay, for the last episode, episode 24 answer, this is right before the last episode. Listen, Shinra has been consumed by rage. Hamiya has done what she knew she had to do from the beginning. She brought back Obi-san's doppelganger, and she slit his throat. Cut his throat. And that sent Shinra completely over the edge, and I can understand why. Obi has saved Shinra in so many ways, like especially when he was first like being discovered as a monster, and Obi basically gave him a home, gave him friends, gave him a place to live, and just changed his ways, so I can understand. But forcing that way for the Great Cataclysm to finally take place is just crazy. Honestly, honest lunatic had to write this show. I mean no disrespect by that, but just all of this together is just crazy. It's after twist, after turn, great animation. I'm impressed, and I can't wait to see, episode 24. Shinra's rage and despair sparked the transformation of the Earth into a second sun. With humanity's wish fulfilled, Hamiya prays for her own death. Shinra faces her with a demonic expression intent on killing her. Then a huge flash of light strikes from space. The battle between the saintness Hamiya and the hero Shinra reaches its climax. So as you can see, we're at the end. Let's go ahead and get this ending, because this is crazy, and my emotions are through the roof. And Hamiya even going so far to killing Iris, or Iris sacrificing herself, just because it was too much. Now, I really want to know, why is it going to be episode 25? And is this the resurgence of Soul Eater? And also the moon, I'm having a smile. Benimaru being the best character. We finally see Benimaru smile and be happy, to his father's content. And I do ship Benimaru and that guy for BL love. I do. This episode is called Answer. Let's get into it. Shinra, did he make the soul world of Soul Eater? Like, did he make that world? Because that's kind of what it was giving. Y'all gonna have to give me some time to wrap my head around that whole episode. And I guess by the time episode 25 comes out, I'll be with my final video. And then I'm gonna make a separate video about how I feel about the ending of this episode. Okay, let's be honest. Shinra's biggest battle was not the evangelist or Hamiya. It was literally him accepting his past, controlling his anger, emotions, and deciding what he wanted his future to be. And putting three things together: the promise, the hero, and the guide. And honestly, that's too real. That's real life. Some people give up hope, and others choose to build a better life. If you like this breakdown, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, save this video, share this video with your mommy, daddy, uncle, auntie. Leave a purple heart down in the comments. In the next video.